Well, I'm joined now in the studio by Saeed Shehata from BBC Arabic. Hello, welcome to you to bring us up to date on all these developments. Let's start on the exchange of rocket attacks between Hezbollah and Israel. What's the latest on that?
This is a continuation of the confrontation between the two sides. Hezbollah said it launched rockets and fired rockets at Israel in response to Israeli attacks that killed 3 paramedics in southern Lebanon. Report says there is no injuries or serious damages to what happened, and it's continuation of the threat of a potential war between the two sides. If we can remember, in last month, after the assassination of one of the senior commanders of Hezbollah, Fuad Shukr, Hezbollah vowed to avenge from Israel. And what happened in August last month, it fired about 320 missiles and drones. Even Israel carried out preemptive attacks on the rocket launchers and other military facilities. So it weakened the attack of Hezbollah. So the expectation of an all-out war between the two sides was put off by this kind of incident, and it's a chapter and was closed, which is a good news for the region. But still the potential for a war between the two sides is there because of confrontation, because what happened in Gaza. So still the situation is volatile, and it can anytime be go to a war, unfortunately.
And what about the protests in Tel Aviv? We've seen these seemingly increasing in number with people out on the streets every night for the past week or so. And this is following months of weekly protests over demands for the Israeli government to reach a deal and free those hostages.
Frustration from the family hostages, family hostages, and the supporter of these families. And they criticize the government and Mr. Netanyahu of failing to reach a deal and make any compromises to do that. And after the 6 bodies were recovered, there is an atmosphere of despair among the families of the hostages, especially if we look at the what's left now is about 101 person left as a hostage there. Some of them American, some of them Israeli, and there's some talks American will try to do a deal with Hamas, but still the protest putting pressure on Mr. Netanyahu. But it seems Mr. Netanyahu doesn't care. Seems that he doesn't care about that, because over 11 months there is about 113 protests per month all over Israel since October. So with all of these protests and pressure from inside Israel, nothing making Mr. Netanyahu change his mind, because his main concern is to demolish Hamas, according to his opinion, and to make no threat from Gaza to Israel's security in the future. But so far, still Hamas is there. They're still fighting in Gaza, going there. So there is a problem, and the hope is to reach a deal, and the pressure from international community, especially the Americans, the mediator, Qatar and Egypt, but still no sign of something about a deal to release the hostages and end the misery of the people killed in Gaza.
What is the latest on the ceasefire talks?
Mr. William Burns, the director of the CIA, said yesterday that there is a new ceasefire proposal was being finalized and will be likely presented in few days. But he said there is need to be hard choices to be taken. It should be political compromises from Hamas and Israel to read there. There is optimism from the American side. The Foreign Minister, the American Foreign Secretary, Mr. Blinken, coming tomorrow to Britain to meet the Foreign Secretary, Mr. David Lammy. And so there is more pressure, but the optimism is coming only from the American, the British, but not from the Israel and Hamas. So the concerned side, there is pessimism. There is no trust between the two sides. The conditions, especially the presence of Israeli troops on Philadelphia corridor, is the main sticking point to reach a deal. And Hamas is not willing to accept the presence. In addition, Egypt, because it's violating the Camp David Treaty between Egypt and Israel. So there is optimism from the Americans, the mediators, but the concerned part is there is because there is no sign of a deal coming through, because there is no compromises coming from the two sides.
Okay, Saeed, thank you for the update.